Last episode, we made a huge trade deadline move to send backup power forward Murray Bailey and backup shooting guard Jose Ramirez to the Detroit Pistons, who are trying to vie for a top playoff seed in exchange for Herbert Jones, Brett Young, and 2 first-round picks, one this year and one in 2 seasons. We also gave up our 2034 first-round pick, but it does have a protection, so expect that to come back to us if we are going to be in the lottery next season. We made that move because we had tried to build this team via free agency and we kind of failed. We brought in guys like Asar Thompson, we brought in Keon Malone, which I was not expecting to get him or to get Murray Bailey. Both guys signed as starter level power forwards, and things just did not pan out the way that I thought they would, despite having guys like Wilson Towns up to an 85 overall and Jimmy Thomas progressing very well in his second season. But things just did not really shake out the way that I thought. Homer Castro has not really been as effective offensively as I was hoping he would be, but he has shown some promise, especially on defense. But I think we're going to spend the rest of the season in this episode, and we're going to probably just go ahead and watch this game against the Bulls, against the Michael Jordan comparison, Jerome Vaughn, who happens to also be in Chicago just like MJ was. But I think last episode, especially in this game against these Neptunes, which was a pretty big upset win for us to get, I think Wilson Towns' 40-point game only solidified my thoughts going into the offseason, and that's going to be that we're probably going to ship off Asar Thompson either for a higher draft pick in the upcoming draft or for another 2034 first-round pick. We just don't really know how good this class is yet, but we are going to spend the back end of the episode to go over some of the top prospects that we have not seen so far in scouting. As of right now, coming off that loss, the Neptunes still have a 4.5 game lead in the Eastern Conference. We are down in 12th place, a game back from the Celtics, 2 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks. We're going to see if we can try and slow things down for us and try and see if we can have better draft positioning by year's end. And I made one move at the end of last episode to essentially bench Asar Thompson and Keon Malone. They'll come off the bench the rest of the season, and this way we get some more development for these young players, and we can hopefully have better odds at a top 5 pick in this year's draft. Not going to waste any more time though, folks. Let's go right into simming and see what happens between now and April 1st. 3 games later, Wilson Towns picks up a knock. He'll be knocked out for probably only a game or 2. And 3 more games later, he is back. Well, this is not how I thought this was going to go. We've actually won more games than I thought we would. We have improved since we made the trade. We are 36-40 with 6 games left on the schedule. We are now 11th in the conference. The Neptunes have secured a playoff spot, and they still are holding on to the 1 seed. They'll probably keep it the rest of the way, but we've won 4 straight games. We now have a positive record at home. We're 6-4 in our last 10. Was not expecting us to improve our record by year's end by benching Asar Thompson and Keon Malone, but that is what has happened. In the 3rd and final game against the Neptunes this season, we got absolutely blown to smithereens, 145-102. Harrison 30-9. This was a game that Wilson Towns missed because of the injury. Thomas drops 25, but McBoy puts up 36. Quinn Hilliard has had quite a season as a starter over in Virginia Beach, and they shot 57%. That is insane. But we've won 4 straight games, including one against the Celtics, who are also 36-40. The Jazz we beat. They're worse than we are, I guess. And now we're here against the Bulls, who are 30-46. Please tell me that Jerome Vaughn is still playing. Looks like he is as a starter. We are going to miss Jonathan Campbell, though, because he picked up a knock against either the Warriors or the Nets. So he is still injured with that strained Achilles. And he'll come back probably right after this game is done. But for now, we're going to bring Bagley off the bench. And we're going to see what Wilson Towns and Thomas can do in our last showcase game of the season. Here we go, on the road at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, taking on the Bulls. Gonna be our first look at the first overall pick. Jerome Vaughn again had that Michael Jordan Hall of Fame ceiling comparison. Never seen that before. Kind of like Mac Boy with the LeBron James comparison all those years ago. And should be a fun matchup and should be a fun preview into the future between two teams that might be on the come up. Without further ado, tip-off is underway as Homer Castro wins the tip. We've got him starting. We got Clint Hardy, our second-round rookie, starting as well. I want to see some more Wilson Towns and Jimmy Thomas the rest of the way. Towns takes the first shot. No good from behind the arc. They're going to kick it down low to Martin Red. He leaves it for Jerome Vaughn, who wears 26 for Chicago. Chan with it. He's going to have to fire. No good. Castro over Chan. One-handed shot. No good as he hits the deck. High ball screen for Vaughn. And he lost it. It's stolen by Wilson Towns. In his last game, Jerome Vaughn had 14 points on relatively, or 12 points rather, on relatively poor shooting. He took 14 shots, missed 10 of them. He's hoping for a better day here. Top of the key. Red pump fakes, fires. The shot won't count, but he was fouled on it by Brett Young. We also acquired from Detroit in that deadline move. Red has been Chicago's best offensive player, 23 points per game, 8 rebounds per game. Meanwhile, Vaughn still leads the Rookie of the Year race, with Castro still in second. The free throws from Red are all good, and they open the scoring here on the road. Screen comes up. Thomas gets rid of Vaughn. Back to Castro, readjusting, and he's fouled by Chan. He's got some free throws. In our last game, which was a win against the Celtics, looks like Thomas, like Vaughn, had a pretty poor shooting day, 4 for 13 from the fields. We'll see if he can pick things up here in this one as Castro goes 0 for 2 at the line. Back to Red. He's guarded by Hardy. Now it's Vaughn with it. Back to Geiger. Really good defense by the Force here. No field goals for either team. And it still holds true. Out of the corner comes Thomas. He fires top of the key. That's a foul against Vaughn. Going to put Thomas at the line for 3. Very strange start to this game. Both teams getting their first points with 3-point fouls. But Thomas is our best free throw shooter at over 88% on the season. So you would expect all 3 to go in. Got a size disparity down low. Red's calling for it. That's the first field goal here in this one. And we turn the ball over. Clint Hardy lost the handle. And it's picked up by Jerome Vaughn, who is, known for his steals on the defensive end, and now he is on the board. This series only shot 43%, but that's still better than most rookies that we've seen in this series. Still got over 16 points per game. Towns will pass it back to him, and Thomas rocks the rim with the one-handed stuff. Tom counting down for Chicago. Red pump fakes, fires, but misses the trifecta. Couple of dribble moves here from Towns. He leaves it for Thomas. That was a good look. All these possessions coming down to the wire for Chicago, and that shot's no good from Geiger. Thomas with it. Back out. Deep 3 for Brett Young. Offline. Step back 3. Geiger no good. He's still scoreless. What was that turnover? Jerome Vaughn with some nice awareness, and he takes it all the way for a jam. Slow start on the offensive end for us as both defenses playing very tight defense across the board. Let's get Wilson Towns involved. He pump fakes but passes back out of the shots. Hardy's got a good look and nails it top of the key. O block again. Red is fouled by Young, his seconds. They go into their best player and their big man, and so far it's kind of working. This free throw gives him 7 of their 11. Shot clock under 5 for the Force. Thomas just fires on the 3 and he nailed it. We're tied at 11. Off the Vaughn screen. Red feeds it back to him. That one's blocked by Jimmy Thomas. He's had a couple of those this season, huh? Towns fires. His first shot of the day is up and out. Or his first non-3, I should say. Open 3. Martin Red misses it, and Hardy pulls down the rebound. Top of the key. Tough shot for Thomas. Vaughn was right there with them. And now they get points on the other end. A quick pass up ahead to Martin Red. He's played very well at home, over 24 points per game, and he's off to a great start. Look at Towns' last 5 games as a starter without Thompson on the court. 26 points per game. He's killing it from downtown. I need some of that here in this game. Thompson checks in for the first time off the bench here in this one. Towns for 3, top of the key, back iron. It's taken down low. That little fadeaway shot's no good from Kenneth Graves as Young pulls down the rebound again. Nice cut, but the pass is cut off by Mingyu Chan. A turnover from Herb Jones. Vaughn at the rim on the other end, just a bit off, and now he's called for a transition take foul, which will put us at the line for 1. It's our second straight game seeing one of those fouls called. We also get possession. Pick and roll with Young. Thompson does not make the pass, and this is going to lead to nothing. Or not. Shot's good. Poked out and stolen. Jones the poke out and Towns the steal. Up to Brett Young. Good defense at the rim by Bay. Another fade away from Chan. This time it's on line. Chicago back on top. Double screens for Thompson. Stepping into a 3. Off the mark. This is Watson for 3. He's on the board. How to find a shot. Little wayward pass to Bagley. He barely keeps himself in bounds, and Towns has to shoot. And he is still scoreless. Up to Sadiq Bey. Tough finish at the rim. No good. Bagley on the board with the rebound. Thompson has it again. Time counting down. And off to Young. Nice pump fake, and he finishes for 2. Step back 3. Geiger got it to go. What the hell was that pass? That was a terrible turnover. But we get a block on the other end. Bay picks up the loose ball. Alone to save the bucket. Can we get the stop? The answer is no. And as I am recording this, the Hawks just traded DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans in real life. Trying to see what it was for, but might take a minute. In the corner, Martin Red can't hit it, just a foot inside the arc. The offense for us is having their worst first quarter, I think, of any game that we've watched this season. This is not looking very good. And I think it's because Towns just gotten off to a slow start. 1 second separates the shot and game clocks, and we're going to see it for the last attempt of the quarter. Thompson to Malone. He just fires. That was just a horrible play call to end the first quarter. We've got 16 points. Come on, guys. There's simply no way the Hawks only got Larry Nance Jr. and 2 first-round picks for Murray. There's just no way, right? It's got to be something else in there. As Red fades away and knocks it down. This guy's killing it. We're down by 9. Harrison leaves it for Thomas. Top of the key. He's got to have it, and he does. All right. Let's pick things up from here. In the corner, it's Sadiq Bey with the triple in response. Thomas steps into a 3. 6 points to open the quarter. That's what I'm talking about. To get this guy more involved. I think next season, it's going to be Wilson Towns' team, but he's going to be that second scoring option. Got to see more from him in this game as Red works his way to the rim on the baseline. This guy is an offensive scoring machine. And by the way, you guys are going to see this before you're going to know about this trade before I release the video, but looks like Daniels is also included in that trade. Dyson Daniels included in that trade to Atlanta. As that ball is blocked out of bounds by Martin Red, who, again, is like a 91 overall. If the Bulls build around him and Jerome Vaughn, they're going to have a really nice duo for their future. Hardy attacks the rim. That one is also rejected by Red. Who is this guy? And Long has a dunk on the other end. This is not looking good. Don't pull the trigger. Castro. Still waiting for him to knock down his first 3 of the season in a showcase game. Has yet to happen, and probably won't here in his rookie season. Long from the charity stripe. Got it. He's been pretty solid off the bench. We're shooting 30%. Almost stole it. Instead, Malone has a free lay-in. Behind the arc. Bey, another triple. We got to call timeout. Well, look at this. Clint Hardy's got the 4th highest free throw percentage for a rookie. That's a promising sign for him. He's shown us a lot of offensive ability here. We find an open look here. Toms is going to fire regardless, and he was fouled on a 3 again. The 2nd time in this game already. He's already got 14 points. He kind of lives behind the line, has shown some attack in the basket ability, but hasn't done that a whole lot. It's been mostly catch and shoot for Jamie Thomas. We'll see what he develops into in the offseason with player progression. Hopefully he gets more ability with the ball in his hands. Step back. Jerome Vaughn, another shot that goes in. He's got 6. Top of the key again. We love this spot for Thomas, and he keeps trading triples. It's poked out and stolen. Harrison, some nice hands to jar it loose. And Brett Young ends up with it. Harrison, a tough shot over Long. He got it to go. We're back in this game. Let's keep on the pressure. Off-ball movement. Red is wide open, and he's going to get fouled by Young. He's drawn all 3. First free throw, good for Martin Ryan. This guy's already got, I think, 20 points in this game or close to it, just like Jimmy Thomas. The free throws are both good. Towns takes it down low as he checks back in the game, and he is finally on the board with his first field goal. Long just blew by Towns, and he got the and one. Just a really nice blow-by. And right now, the Bulls are feasting on this Pittsburgh defense. Pick and roll. Back to Young. He readjusts and lays it in response. Another and one. This time going the other way. We're picking up our field goal percentage as the game goes on. Gotta like that. The free throw from Young is good. You know, I think this game is going to be, you know, how we decide if we want to bring Young back or not, because we haven't really seen him play before this game, except for like a little bit against the Neptunes, but he was hardly involved at all in that one. Bagley's going to have a good look. He can knock these down, and he does right here off the Towns assist. 5-point game. Long flares out. Catch and shoot. Another one drops in behind the arc. These guys are pouring it on. Towns lets it fly and answers right back. We're going back and forth now. I gotta love it. Long tries again. This one is offline. Here's our chance to make it a one-score game. And off to Herb Jones. He's guarded closely by Vaughn. Shot clock under 5. Towns takes it down low and should have shot the ball. Instead, it's a tough one for Ausar Thompson. Stepping into a shot. Vaughn off the mark this time. And we turn the ball over. Bagley just kind of lost the handle there, and Chan picks up a steal. Homer Castro, by the way, won Rookie of the Month in March, which is good for him. Red with it. Back out. Vaughn open for 3. It's good. Screen comes up for Towns. Set by Brett Young. The pick and pop, but he's covered well. Another shot clock coming right down to the wire. Bagley. I thought I heard a foul there. Red's calling for it. A double team's coming. He lost his dribble, and he misses the shot. On the other end, a pick and roll with Brett Young. Towns works his way to the rim. He's got some free throws. He's up to over 20 points per game on the year thanks to our benching of Ausar Thompson, which will obviously lead Towns to taking more shots in the game. And the free throws are both good. Little isolation here for Sadiq Bey, and he lays it in for 2. Brett Young is having some defensive issues both on Bey and on Red. Alone downhill, he just throws it up. That was a tough shot. Tiger out of the corner, launches but misfires. Nice pass up ahead to Thomas, and he's going to have some free throws again. He's already taken at least 6 of them and knocked down 5. And he misses the first one here. Okay. For 20 points, back end's good. And Harrison picks up a steal on the other end. We get it back down by 7. Bagley wants to take it the entire way, and Chan just got lost down there. Or isolation. That one's rejected, and it goes off of Bey out of bounds. Kiam alone with that denial. Double screens. Good penetration by Thomas, and he got Red turned around, and the bucket is good. He's having himself his best half of basketball that we've seen so far in his career. Red comes over for the screen. He does not get the ball back. It's a 3 for Mingyu Chan off the mark. A 3 can tie it here. We're going to go to Thomas. His 3 is off the mark. Graves whips it down low. 2 defenders there, but it doesn't matter for Martin Red. Thomas, good penetration, readjusting, and it just rolls off the rim and out. We're so close to getting back in front here, or in front for the first time, really. This hasn't happened yet. Chan misses at the rim when he had a mismatch. Thomas rolls to the rim. It has positioning. It's back to a one-score game. He's got almost half our points, 24 of our 51. Red calling for it down low. He's got Malone guarding him. He does not get the pass, at least in the low post. Shot clock under 5. He's going to go right after him. The shot's no good, and Hardy's on the glass. Let's end this first half strong. Thomas steps into a 3. That is kind of a wild shot, but he's been hot from the field, so I can't really blame the guy. Red wants it again. Guarded by Homer Castro. Help comes. He misses a layup, and Chicago is holding on to a 3-point lead at the break. 54-51, a much better second quarter by this Force team. Hoping for more of the same in the second half. So last game it was Wilson Towns with the huge performance. This game it's Jimmy Thompson. If we can get more of this, or not more of this, all of this next year, you know, it's going to be a pretty fun team to watch, I would say, with this young backcourt. Chicago opens with the ball, but their first shot is off the glass and no good. Clint Hardy all the way to the rim and rejected by Red. That's at least his third block here in the game. Geiger leaves it for Chan. With a mismatch, he still missed it, but got it back for 2. Hardy finds Thomas. Vaughn tries to go for the steal, but mistimed it. And Thomas picks up right where he left off in the first half. Red got Young up in the air, and the pump fake leads to a deuce. Out of the corner, Thomas rejected by Chan. How does he get to that, man? That's got to be a rebound for us. Chan's calling for it down low. Help gets there late. Chan has done a pretty poor job against these undersized guards in the low post. What a lob from Towns to Thomas. These two have quite the connection. Eyeball screen. Vaughn gets by Thomas and nails the pull-up jumper. Towns leaves it for Thomas. He draws 2 defenders and fires over them. No good. And he steals it on the other end. That's a lazy pass right there from Red. He can bring it back to a 1-score game on this possession. Instead, though, 3-second violation from Castro, who has done pretty much nothing in this game. Backing down Young. Step back jumper in there again. This Red guy is absolutely incredible. How many points does he have right now? He's got 21. Thomas trying to shake Vaughn loose, but it's not going to be easy. He did draw a double team, and Young just passed up the open three-point look, and now we're going to have a tough shot. It's blocked by Red. The 3 on the offensive rebound is no good. We almost stole it on the other end. Instead, Geiger's freed up for a triple. We find ourselves trailing by 9. Thomas has room, and he knocks it down. Vaughn got there late. Just give this guy the rock. He will knock it down. In the high post, another step back. Red this time is off the mark. If we can just get one other guy to step up aside from Jimmy Thomas, we can come out on top here in this game. Young draws the foul on Red. That's going to be his second. Have not been too many fouls drawn by either team in this game. We have had a good amount of free throws, I would say. Had at least 8 for Jimmy Thomas there in the first half alone. These are our first free throws of this half, and Young knocks them both down. It's back to 4. Chan gets it down low, and this time he takes advantage of the mismatch. Foul goes against Wilson Towns, and the three-point play is capped off at the line. Thomas, catch and shoots. On playing some better defense these last couple of trips down. Shot clock under 5. The handoff, and the shot from Vaughn rims out. Towns takes it down low. Now he finds Castro for an open 3. Eventually, that will go in. It's the wrong guy to take those kinds of shots in this stage in the game, as Chan gets by him on the other end for the jam. Look at that. We have had the 3rd most steals per game in the last month of the season. Okay, so we're playing some good defense in terms of forcing turnovers. We've only forced 5 in this game so far, though, so I got to keep up the pressure and get some stops here as Herb Jones knocks one down in the corner off the Towns assist. We're keeping ourselves in arm's reach, but have not yet taken the lead in this game. Geiger waiting in the corner. He finds Bay. Shot clock once again counting down. Malone got there in time, but Chan on the glass again. The constant problem plaguing this team has been allowing offensive rebounds, and it's holding true in this game as well. Bagley getting aggressive, and he is rejected out of bounds into the stands. Inbound made to Wilson Towns. He's got a clean look, but it ricochets off the glass and out. Down low to Chan. Bagley is there, and he's called for a foul. All of a sudden, this Chan guy's popping off. First it was Martin Red. Now it's the other big man for Chicago. Another three-point play capped off, and we trail by 11 with just over 4 to play in this third quarter. Backdoor cut. We almost turned that over, but Bagley with a game-saving awareness play. Alone off the glass with a soft touch. Can we get some stops? We can. That's a big steal right there from Wilson Towns. Let's turn this in the offense on the other end. Instead, Bagley is blocked again. This Chan guy is making plays on both ends of the courts. Now he wants it against Keon Malone. He's one of our best slow post defenders, but he gets blown by on the spin move. Nice pass. Herb Jones, though, misses the mid-range jump shot. The offense is just kind of slowed down since that second quarter, where we scored 35 points. Kind of back to that first quarter level of offense. We've only scored 15 points so far. That's not good with under 3 to go in the quarter. Bounce back in for the Bulls. He fires over 2 defenders. No good. Thompson fires and misses the trifecta. Penetration, and Chan missed, but got the rebound. At least he left that short, but my God, man, we got to start boxing out. Got to figure that thing out in the offseason for sure. As Towns rejected at the rim by Jerome Vaughn. He's hit some big shots. He's had a couple of steals and a couple of blocks as Herb Jones cuts off the pass and takes it the other way for a foul. Martin Red's progression over the course of these last 4 years, averaged about 14 points per game back in the 2029-2030 year, now is up to over 23 points per game here 4 years later. First free throw up and good for Herb Jones. Again, we're still in this game, but just not making enough plays to get ourselves in front. Just got to put together like one big run, and then we have the lead. Poked out. Towns can't track it down, but Herb Jones can. They team up for the turnover. We can turn this into points again. Towns launches, but can't connect. A rough day for our point guard here in this one. And we just left Fleming wide open. What the hell was that? Good penetration. Back to Bagley, off the window and good. It's dumped back to Red, and that's going to be a foul against Bagley, man. We just are not getting enough stops in a row. Red has barely scored this half, but has not had to. Chan coming in and doing a good job. Tough defense by Peyton Watson. Thomas misses at the rim. He's been the only offense for us on a consistent basis here in this game. Nobody else has stepped up, and we keep fouling and allowing open shots. That's how they're scoring every time down the court. They're about to have their largest lead of the game here with these free throws. They lead by 13. Back to Bagley. He readjusts and has a quick foul on the other end. Now we're in the bonus, and we've got some more free throws. Got to knock them down. First one is in there. And Bagley, 2 for 2. Last shot of the quarter is going to be for Chicago. Long takes it inside, fires over Harrison. This guy's been great off the bench. I think he had a big game in their last win as well, as Thomas just barely misses a half-court heave. It's 85-72. Jimmy Thomas, again, the only guy worth anything for us on the offensive side of the ball. Got to make the fourth quarter count here. 12 to play. Harrison has not done a whole lot off the bench for us on either end of the court, and Bulls get it back. Surprise, Red missed that one. I'll take the stop, though. Malone, the screen. He'll get it back from Thomas for an easy jam. Just let Thomas go to work. He'll make the right plays. Most times, we have hit 8 less shots than the Bulls and have taken almost as many. That's not a good sign, but they're going to turn the ball over here with that red screen. That's his 4th foul. Malone with it. Late pass to Harrison. Back to Malone. Too strong off the window. 1-on-1. Sadiq Bey takes it inside. Malone stalls him out. And almost got a hand on that shot. Either way, it's a good stop. He's going to bring it up himself. But Bagley lost the handle. Come on, man. We have now been the least turnover-worthy team all year long. Only got 8 here in this game. Bey, just inside the arc, misses that shot. Thomas, rejected by Red. He's got a huge wingspan, I guess. Knox, but that one to get blocked, and now Thomas picks up his first foul in transition. 3 from Fleming is online, or the free throw from Fleming is online. And their lead is back to 13. Bagley's calling for it. Mismatch against Long. Help comes. Harrison finds Malone. Great recovery on defense by the Bulls, and we get nothing out of that. They get it up ahead. What a lead pass by Long. That was incredible. And they have their largest lead of the game. We are running out of time here to get ourselves back in it. Harrison blocked. This Red guy is insane. Up to Fleming. He misses at the rim. Can we get the offense going for once? Look at this defense by Long, dude. He is suffocating Harrison. We somehow got the bucket. Screen comes up. Bey lets it fly and just misses that one. In and out. Thomas has Hardy in the corner. Bagley's going to fire instead. We have missed so many open passes in this game. The court awareness right now is just not there. Red puts their lead back to 15. Harrison, the quick 3. He is yet to really get going here. Bey just launches. What kind of defense was that? Harrison just let him, just set up for a 3, man. 94-76. We're about to jump out of here if you don't score on these next couple of trips. Thomas just trying to do too much on that time, on that possession. That was a really tough shot. Watson can't lay it in. Bagley going to work down low over Bey. You got it. Step back, 3. Thank God he missed that one. He's been knocking down all of his shots in this game so far. Bagley pulls the trigger on the other end. Do we have life here in Chicago? And off. And the shot. Bey, no good. Here's our chance. A 3 makes it a 10-point game, and we can still come back in this game. Double team comes up. Thomas finds Hardy. He steps into an open look. You gotta hit that, man. Come on. Long. Whips it down low. Red fires. How many offensive boards are we gonna allow? This cannot happen next year. I'm gonna do my best to make sure we don't allow this many offensive boards in every single game. It has probably cost us 10 wins this year, man. This is unbearable. Screen comes up with Thompson and Young back in the game. Young has an open triple. We have been horrible on our threes in this game, except for one guy. Number 8. The only guy that has been worth anything on the offensive end. Chance back in. And we allow another offensive board. They don't score on this possession, but good grief, man. Nobody's boxing out. Thompson. Back to Castro. His shot's off the mark. I don't think he's scored in this game, has he? All right, well, if they score here, I'm definitely just going to the end. Nice kick out to Red. His corner 3 is good. The big men link up. We trail by 18 points. This game is over. Despite a great Jimmy Thomas performance, the Bulls take this one 114-99 on the road. And that's going to end our regular season, folks. Let's go talk about some prospects and some yearly awards now. As our first loss in 5 games, as Martin Red drops 33 and 10 on 23 shot attempts. Double-double for Mingyu Chan, 14 for, I believe this is Wilson Long. Yes, it is. He drops 14, shooting 6 for 9 from the field. Jerome Vaughn played pretty well on both ends. 13, 6 and 5, 1 steal, 1 block, only 1 turnover, and 6 for 12 shooting. We got 43 and 7 for Jimmy Thomas. What more could you ask of this guy? Nobody else stepped up. They didn't forget for Wilson Towns for sure. Same goes for Brett Young, who was 2 for 9. Castro was 2 for 10, man. So many guys shot poorly, and in the end, we shoot 36%. That is not going to cut it. And we allowed how many offensive boards? We allowed 8. We had 12 somehow. I don't believe that at all. Now we got 5 games left. Let's just go ahead and sim through the rest of the regular season and find out who's going to win MVP, who's going to win Rookie of the Year. It's probably going to be Jerome Vaughn. He's been the leader for the entire season to this point. I wonder what our final record's going to be. Hopefully it's going to be worse than 5 games below 500, just to help us out with the draft pick. The MVP is Victor Wembanyama. As expected, a 26-11 season for assists, plenty of steals and blocks. Great shooter. He deserves that for sure. And as expected again, Jerome Vaughn does win Rookie of the Year. AC Reeves, 6th Man of the Year. Depoy goes to Evan Mobley. I'm about to override this again, dude. I can't stand this guy. I simply can't. I'll let it stand for one more season. But Wilson Towns wins Most Improved Player. Hell yes, he ends up with just below 20 points per game, 5 rebounds, over 6.5 assists per game, more than 1 steal per game, and shot pretty well across the board as a stretch. He shot the ball well from 3 and from the field, but those free throws hopefully go up in this offseason. And Mac Boyd ends up winning Clutch Player of the Year. I mean, we've seen countless games with him. I think that also makes sense. Well, Mitch Johnson of the Spurs wins Coach of the Year. And Aaron Phillips, their executive, wins that award as well. The All-NBA first team consists of the top, or 3 of the top 5 MVP vote getters, including Wembanyama, Boyd, and Cade Cunningham, alongside Glenn Carroll and LaMelo Ball. The second team, you got SGA, Luka, Ja Morant, Billy Willis, and Josh Giddey. On your third team, AC Cole, Brandon Miller, Tatum, Martin Red, who we just saw, and Trae Young. All defensive first team, AC Cole, Ant Edwards, Mobley, Boyd, and Holmgren. Second team, you got Wembanyama, Jarris Walker, Doyle Bowman, Dyson Daniels, and Ethan Battle. All rookie first team, Jerome Vaughn, Daryl Moss. Homer Castro ends up making it, Bradley Westbrook, and Donnell Haywood. And your second team, you got Artie Toole, Adam Thornton, Maxwell Richards, Andre Wall, and Sammy Phillips to round out the all-team selections. Well, I should have checked, but apparently we finished the year 40-42. We made the play-in tournament. Somehow, some way, I was just not ready for that at all, but apparently we lost. So let's go see what happened in that game. That's my bad, folks. We apparently beat the Celtics in the 9 versus 10 seed game. In this game, we got 27 for Wilson Towns. Again, we did not start Asar Thompson in this game or Keon Malone. So, I mean, frankly put, I just kind of forgot that we even had a chance to make it here. We do lose out against Toronto, and we are no longer in the playoffs as we lose this game pretty handily. We got demolished by 25 points. Grady Dick drops that much en route to the win. Towns 19-10-6 to lead the way for the Neptunes. And I guess we're right here. The Spurs have the 1 seed over in the Western Conference. They'll face the 8 seed Trailblazers. The Rockets will face the 5 seed Thunder. The Clippers will face the Timberwolves. And Seattle, as the 2, will face the Kings. Over in the Eastern Conference, Mac Boyd and the Neptunes will face the Toronto Raptors in the first round. Orlando against the Cavaliers. Philly hosting Detroit. And the Knicks, as the 2, will face the Grizzlies in the first round. But yeah, as I said, we would finish the year 40-42. 13 games back from the number 1 seed. We would finish the year 8-2 on our last 10 games, despite benching 2 of our best starters. How does that even happen, man? Yearly stats for the team. Jimmy Towns ends up being our top scorer at 20.6 points per game. He passed it, a little bit, but not as much as you would like him to. He ends up shooting 49% from the field and 43% from behind the arc. We saw Wilson Towns' numbers. Asar Thompson in 64 starts and a full year of basketball with no injuries. Less than 18 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal. He's going to be shipped off in this offseason, no doubt about it. Harold Castro played and started every single game this year. I mean, he kind of improved as the year went on, but he still has a lot to work on. 9.6 points per game, 8 rebounds. Just barely got over 40% from the field and was 15% from behind the arc. I mean, we just have no chance to spread the floor if he's going to shoot that poorly from downtown. Brett Young, after we acquired him, 9-4, 43% from the field. Harrison, similar numbers, at least from the field. Clint Hardy shoots about 40%, so both rookies kind of struggle shooting-wise. Jonathan Campbell, 42%, and that's for a big man. That's got to improve next year if he's going to return to this team. He's got, I think, maybe 1 more year left on his deal, or maybe 2 more on 2 different 1-year team options. Keon Malone even shot poorly, and he's a veteran player now, 41%. Bagley shot way better at 46, but only put up like 3 points per game. Herb Jones shot poorly once he joined us. I guess if you're just joining this team, you're just going to shoot poorly unless you're a guy named Thompson, Thomas, or Towns. And the advanced stats, Thompson had our highest PER and our highest efficiency, while Wilson Towns had the highest game score, but Thompson and Thomas were really close behind him at 15 each. The highest usage rates was Melvin Harrison, followed by Thompson, Towns, and Thomas. And the highest EWA was 12.9 for Asar Thompson, 10.6 for Jimmy Thomas, and 9.5 for Wilson Towns. Nobody else got more than 4. So that's kind of telling you who the best players were this year. Apparently Harrison was a 3.8 EWA player. Castro was at 3.5, which I was not really expecting for him. Campbell up there as well, but Malone only 0.3. A lot of guys in the negatives too. I'm going to sim the first 3 rounds of the playoffs, and then I might want to tune in for like the last few minutes of a finals game for the Neptunes if they make the finals, but who knows? Simming does get crazy sometimes, so let's see what happens here in the first round of the playoffs. I don't really care about Brett Young being hurt. The Neptunes end up taking that series in 6. They will face the Orlando Magic in the second round, while the Knicks got swept by the Grizzlies as the 7th seed. That is pretty insane. But now for a team that we never got to face ourselves with, the Neptunes in the playoffs, the Orlando Magic. Can they pull off the upsets? The answer is no. They lose in 5 games. It's going to be Neptunes, Sixers in the ECF, and it could either be the Timberwolves or the Spurs in the finals to face these Neptunes. Let's see what happens here. Philly takes down the Neptunes in 5 games to end their title streak. Wembanyama is your WCF MVP. Jabari Smith wins it in the Eastern Conference. I gotta see what happened here in this series, man. Was somebody hurt for the Neptunes or not? Looks like they lost Game 5 by 5 points. In Game 1, though, they allowed 134 points. Matt Boyd at 35 in this game. Jabari Smith and a lot of other guys in double figures in this Game 1 performance. Boyd and Duran show up to get Game 2 back to tie the series up. They drop nearly 140 points in Game 2. And then another high-scoring game. I guess this defense for the Neptunes was just not up to par this series with the Sixers. Matt Boyd played very well, but it just was not enough. And there were several close games, really a lot of close games in this series, but again, the defense just kind of was not there for these Neptunes, and they fall in 5. It's going to be a Spurs-Sixers finals. Let's find out who's going to win it. It's going to be the San Antonio Spurs for the first time, I believe, in this series. Their first title with Wembanyama after all these seasons. He wins Finals MVP, and he put up some monster numbers. He did not miss a single free throw and shot 45% from behind the arc, nearly 30 points per game. That is pretty special. So Philadelphia kind of beats us to the punch, but they do not end up winning the title. So I can pretty much guarantee you that the Neptunes are going to be right back here next year. So we'll still have a shot if we can get there next time. Probably won't, though. We're probably going to be a similar team, similar record as what we have right now. But we also finished the year incredibly strong. So who knows what is in store for us to start our next campaign. Let's talk about some prospects to close the episode, folks. We talked about these top 3 to 4 couple of guys, top 5 guys, I think. We saw Kelvin Hawkins a little bit. He's a 6'8" small forward, a perimeter threat with only 1 badge. I'm trying to get guys that have badges out of the gate because that usually is a pretty good indication of their starting points. He's got no significant weaknesses, a Bobby Jones All-NBA comparison. Can make some tough plays on defense, great on-ball defender. The offense is kind of there. It needs work. So does defense. He's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none with that B potential. We'll see about him. You got J.R. Kane, another center. There's a lot of centers, a lot of bigs in this stretch, especially towards the top. He's a pretty good scorer down low and can honestly knock down some threes out of the gates with that C rating. Although his defense on the outside is going to be absolutely horrible, so don't expect any blocks on the perimeter from him. And the rebounding is going to be kind of a big question mark, so I'm not going to draft a big guy that's not going to have any rebounding ability because we have seen what that has cost us throughout the course of this season. You got Dennis Wheeler, who is a 7-foot center out of ASU, mostly a defensive guy, and at 7 foot, only C+ rebounding. I think I'm going to pass on him despite the high potential. His comparison is Rudy Gobert. Yeah, no thank you. Nathan Underwood, I think we have talked about him a little bit last time we checked some prospects. He's got the All-NBA ceiling, 4 of Miles Turner. He apparently boxes out well and pulls down difficult rebounds. We could really use that if we're not going to move forward here with Homer Castro. And I did make a comment in the last episode that I want to see what progression gets us for Homer Castro, but if it's not anything good, then we're probably just going to move on from him during the middle of next season. This guy, B- potential, B+ rebounding. I would like it to be higher than that because even with Castro at A, he has not done a great job on the glass in terms of defensive rebounding. Then you got Donnell Crawford, another big, I mean, can we just get some like wings or forwards here and not just a lot of centers, man? There are too many centers coming out of these drafts recently, and it's kind of ticking me off. But he's 6'11", only 19 years old, really good inside scorer. So if you want a guy that can actually score at the rim, as compared to Castro, then he's probably the guy to go after. He's also got a rebounding B+ post defense. He's not a good athlete though, and that is a big part of our team, is being a great athlete, because we're asking guys to be active and move a lot off ball. B potential for him. We can't see any college stats for him, and he only has a starter ceiling. That's not good. Dusty Taylor is a 6'10" forward, can play power forward or small forward, so this is kind of the wing that you're kind of looking for. He's got that Jonathan Kuminga as a floor. I mean, that's a pretty good floor to have given how he's progressed in this series. Good balance. He can block some shots, can play above the rim, and can finish with authority. I like seeing that. And we see B- potential on paper. He's a good athlete. B+ rebounder at power forward is honestly really nice. You don't get that very often. And he's got some offensive ability. I got to add Taylor to our board here. I will show the board at the end of the deep dive in these prospects, but I'm going to add him for sure. I think he was already on there. Let me just go double check that real quick. Draft board. We got Randy Parks at the top. We already saw him. We saw Dustin Person. We saw Nathan Underwood. We saw Diaz and Lowry and Hickman and Hawkins. We checked Clay Miles. Taylor was not on there, but now he is. Then down here, you've got a 6'7" forward that can play at shooting guard. Offense is, at a medium level, can definitely be worked on. It's in a pretty decent starting place, but it won't be great in his rookie season. Decent outside defender, can play some post defense too, which is very useful. He's a good athlete and good potential on paper. He's got no badges, but he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. He is 22 years old though, so what does that tell you about where he can end up with 0 badges? I mean, by the time he's 25, he'll probably only have at least 10 badges, and he's probably done progressing, but he's got the Jimmy Butler comparison. That's a pretty good ceiling to have. Good lower body strength. He looks pretty smooth, has pretty good agility. He's a skilled mid-range shooter. I think I'm going to add Scott Park to our board as well, because he seems pretty intriguing for maybe our second first-round pick. You got Malcolm Montgomery, but he's 6 foot tall. I am not going to make that mistake again. If you have seen my Scouts franchise, you will know that I made a costly pick with our first ever draft pick with a guy that was 5'11", and he was absolutely terrible. McCarthy is on our board, but if you are not familiar with him, he's got an all-star ceiling, no big weaknesses, good but not great pickpocket ability. He knows where to be on offense, which is a nice plus for him, and he's a good finisher. And in one college game that we can see, he had 26, 8, and 4. That's really impressive. He's a pretty good mid-range shooter as expected. Inside scoring could use some work. He's not going to be a great three-point shooter at all, and I don't want to have guys that can't do that at all, because, I mean, Castro had a D+ rating, and he was absolutely terrible from downtown. He's also got some high potential. Lenny Hollins, I think we talked about him last episode, but if you don't recall, he's a good playmaker. Also can't really shoot threes. The defense leaves a lot to be desired. He's a good athlete. He has a high IQ, and he has the Rajon Rondo All-NBA ceiling and the Alvin Williams bench. After that, we go down to Dalen Longley, a high-flying forward. 6'10", also 22 years old. A ceiling of a starter, floor of a bench. I think I'll probably just pass on him. Kobe Garner, Jerry Lucas / All-NBA ceiling, 75 overall out of the gate. It looks like routinely grabs rebounds over much larger players. I hope that's actually true. He's got a good frame. Gets to the rim with ease. That's good to see. And, I mean, he's going to be a horrible jump shooter, man. Can you afford to bring a guy like this in if he's going to be that bad offensively? I'm not so sure. And with B rebounding, I don't expect him to be that kind of a guy to be like a huge box out kind of a beast. So I think I'll pass on him. You got Henry Ray here. Now this guy's caught my eye, but we only have him 22% scouted. He's 6'1". Apparently can shoot the ball very well. He's got some good playmaking ability. Defense is not good whatsoever, but he's a great athlete. High potential. Was terrible shooting in college. He has a Jamal Murray ceiling. What about Wayne Francis out of Providence, which I hate that school, but he's 6'10", 18 years old. That's a pretty good age for a guy that has a B- offense and defensive rating out of the draft. A Tom Sanders all-star ceiling. He's got potential. He's got some good low post defense. Excellent shot blocking ability. Okay. Can't see any college stats. He's got the drop stepper badge. Got a work ethic. And he won't really shoot the ball a whole lot. A 36 shot tendency. He's going to be more of a role player, if anything. But he can knock down mid-range shots. Post defense is pretty decent. Rebounding. And a decent starting spot for a power forward, but we'd like it to be higher than a B-. And has that B- potential. I think we'll add him to our board as well, but he's not going to be one of our top options. And lastly, we have 23-year-old Josh Howell, a fast twitch, has his one single badge. And he'll be decent inside of the three-point line. Now, that is a good rebounding ability for a power forward who's only 6'9", same size as Brett Young is currently. Great athletes. Extremely low IQ compared to the average at this position. I don't want some dumbass on my team. He's got B+ potential with the AC green starter ceiling, so probably does not have a whole lot more to build off of with his profile, unfortunately for him. He is 23 years old after all, so those guys don't often get a whole lot better once they come into the league. The last guy we'll look at is Uwe Hoffmann out of Germany. Compared to Larry Nance, all-star ceiling. Good leaper, good upper body strength, but he can only make basic reads on offense. Subpar court vision at best. No badges. Really high shot tendency at 96. That is incredibly high. He can score inside and can knock down some threes, but post defense needs work. Rebounding is not very good. He's a decent athlete. Potential is okay on paper. I think we'll add him to our board, but again, he's going to be kind of one of our backup options if we don't get what we want with our first couple of picks. And I think that'll be the last guy that we look at here. Most of the guys we don't even have scouted fully, so I think until we use some of those little scouting visits in the offseason, we'll probably just pause on the prospects here. But now our draft board looks like this. We've got 14 guys in total, kind of spread throughout the first round. These guys should all probably go in the first round. I doubt these guys drop outside of it. So we got to really hone in on what guys we actually want. So please, guys, give your feedback down below on who you want to see us take. We're probably going to end up making 2 first-round picks, so we got to hit on both of them to really build this team up and get these 2 new cornerstones on this team. Now, it might be tough to get that first overall pick. Parks is going to go first overall. He is the unanimous first overall selection, and he has by far the best potential and the best ceiling with, I believe it was a Tim Duncan comparison. So he is by far the best player in this draft. You have other players that potentially can be really good in a couple of seasons, including guys like Dusty Taylor, Lenny Hollins, Clay Miles, even David Lowry. So 14 guys that we're kind of looking at here. We got to figure out who we want to actually target in terms of a trade up in the draft, regardless of where we're going to pick. So give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in our second offseason with the Pittsburgh Force. I do not want to screw up this draft like I did our last one, so we'll see what happens the rest of the way. But I'll see you guys there. Thanks for watching as always, and have a great day.